In 2021, AiCanvas, a Black-owned fashion brand, took to Twitter writing, "Tonight I feel crushed. Shein has stolen my Amelia sweater design." This sweater, hand-crocheted using the rich tradition of craftsmanship found in Nigeria, originally sold for $300 and was now available for mass market as a cheap recreation for $17. While $300 may seem like a high price for one garment, this sweater took days to make and was what the company found the value of their labor to be. Public opinion on pricing aside, what does copyright law actually say about design plagiarization? Julie Zerbo, the lawyer behind the fashion law, notes that copyright law can leave little protection for creators. The law doesn't allow creators to copyright useful things, at least not in their entirety, meaning a creator is unable to claim broad protections for articles of clothing that serve basic functions. In AiCanvas's case, this takes the form of not being able to add protections to their sweater designs unless they can prove that their creation process is so unique to industry standards that it warrants such protections. The ambiguity in copyright law makes it hard for designers to feel protected, and in most cases makes it perfectly legal to knock off creators. This tale of corporations stealing from smaller creators and the working class in general has been around for as long as the fashion industry has existed. Even with many big brands' recent lines, we can see the exploits of the blue-collar class, like Abercrombie and PacSun's recent Western collections, bringing cowboy everyday wear into the fashions of those who have probably never stepped foot on a farm. So how did we get to this rise of fast fashion that exploits the working class through labor, obsessive spending, and stealing of intellectual properties? And is there any way to fight back? American retail was revolutionized in the 19th century due to the rise of mail-order catalogs. Notably, Montgomery Ward, an American businessman and company namesake, developed one of the first accessible catalogs of products, including clothing, nationwide. Ready-to-wear clothing meant that consumers no longer had to create their own garments or save excessive amounts to purchase staple pieces. While catalogs increased access to clothing, they were also the foundation for cementing of-the-time beauty standards. A fuller figure went out the door with the Victorian era, and slim was officially in. While we may think of diet culture as a modern issue, the early 1900s saw a standardization of the way people should and shouldn't eat in order to restrict and lose weight. And with the slimmer figure came a correct way to wear clothing, closing the door to any body type not fitting these norms. Variations of cinch waist, full skirts, and modest fashion accessories persisted over the next 50 years, cementing a standard for how women should not only dress, but behave and be perceived in society. But something was brewing. With an unjust war in Vietnam, increasing racial tensions, and the ability to use mass media for the first time, counterculture movements took the 1960s by storm. Notably, the National Association to Aid Fat Americans, today known as the National Association to Advance Fat Acceptance, and the Fat Underground were working to gain respect and recognition of fat people in society. Quoting the Fat Manifesto written by the Fat Underground, "We are angry at mistreatment by commercial and sexist interests. These have exploited our bodies as object of ridicule, thereby creating an immensely profitable market, selling the false promise of avoidance of or relief from that ridicule." These movements inspired generations of activists to fight for more size-conscious clothing and efforts to create a wear what you want mentality. By the 80s, the term plus size gained popularity, and brands began to realize the market potential, leading to more styles and sizes becoming available. But no one could have foreseen the consequences of a new form of communication overtaking the world: social media. What started as small virtual bulletins quickly became powerful tools for promoting trends, influencing consumer behaviors, and driving the demand for rapidly produced, affordable clothing. By the 2010s, the term influencer was coined to describe digital content creators with large followings, distinctive brand personas, and pattern relationships with commercial sponsors. The mirroring of QVC promotion can now be seen on every TikTok live, with what to wear social mentalities now being back in, well, fashion. Influencers often showcase large hauls of clothing, purchased at low prices, encouraging and normalizing overconsumption. Brands looking to jump on the fast fashion train now have to prioritize using cheaper materials, creating rapid turnover schedules to keep up with global supply demand, and outsourcing labor to companies with lower labor costs. With every frequent new arrival, consumers are told to buy fast before products run out. And to keep up with constant design changes, it's no wonder brands look to smaller creators for inspiration. But designers are not sitting idle while their labor is being exploited. Just like in every era where fashion produced restrictive and unjust norms, real people are taking action to fight for their rights. In 2023, Krista Perry, Larissa Martinez, and Jade Barron sued fashion giant Shein, alleging the e-commerce platform produced, distributed, and sold exact copies of their creative work. A federal judge in California allowed the independent designers to file a RICO case, alleging a pattern of design thefts constitutes racketeering activity, violating the RICO Act. Racketeering is a form of criminal activity that involves engaging in a pattern of illegal acts, often organized with organized crime, for the purpose of financial gain. This enablement could set a precedent for creators who feel their work is being copied or explicitly stolen. While the case is ongoing, it's a clear indicator that we should not and will not stand for exploitation. Throughout history, underrepresented groups have worked to make their voices heard. We have the power to choose where we spend our social and economic currency. As fast fashion continues to dominate the commerce landscape, it is up to us to show, at least partly, that our dollars won't encourage its continuance. I certainly am not an expert in the field of fashion, but as someone who understands that we are a generation with less and less disposable income, being strategic with where you spend your money might benefit the system as a whole. If you're interested in topics like these, consider subscribing. And if you want me to make a whole video about diet culture or fast fashion and its potential solutions, let me know down in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one.